to another episode of At the Factory. Today at the Factory, we have a special guest. We have Cree. How you feeling?
I feel good.
You could look at me.
Am I supposed to look at you?
Yeah, you can
okay,
look at me.
okay.
You know, we're just kicking it. We're just kicking it.
Okay.
So, I've known you, what, how long it's been?
I don't know. I want to say 5 years, but it could be longer. I don't know.
Okay.
I know I've been following you a long time too online, and I finally came to the actual store. Like, you know me. You're looking like, no, I don't. Maybe it's probably like 4 years, maybe.
Okay.
Was it like 2020 or 2021 when I
feel like it might have been like 21.
21? Okay.
Yeah, 2020 was the COVID year. Really nobody in the building.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So you're a recording artist.
Yes.
And let's talk about your past first. How did it start?
What part of the past?
What age did you start?
Professionally or just singing?
I guess like when you tried to start pursuing it professionally.
Probably like 14. Like 14.
Okay.
If we start there, then that'll make it a lot easier.
Okay. But let's just fast forward so the viewers don't
get bored with it. Okay.
Don't get bored. But you ended up in 702.
Right.
We're gonna come back to the past, but you ended up being in the group 702.
Yeah.
Which was crazy to me. I didn't like that. Just blew my mind when I met you. Like what? So we're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
I just want everybody to know that she did a stint in 702, the classic. Was that 90s?
That was
2000.
Well, they went platinum in the early 2000s.
Okay. So basically 90s, 2000s, legendary group, 702. All right. So at 14, what was that situation?
When I was 14 years old, I was already like, had made the decision that I wanted to do music with my life. And, me and my pal, buddy, friend, whatever, around the way, we used to just do music, talent shows, school stuff, choir and all that. And then I was asked to be in a group called A Diva in Detroit, which it was local, so you guys probably wouldn't know unless somebody pulled up some old local videos from, remember, like Channel 62 and whatever those old channels used to be. So I did a group called A Diva. It was 5 of us. And then we did music locally. We did clubs. They would sneak us in the back of the building. And we were performing that way. But then one night a fight broke out. My mom was like, okay, you can't be in this group anymore. It's too ghetto.
A fight broke out within the group or at the club?
Oh, broke out in a club.
Oh, okay.
Because the lead singer's dad would get like very prideful or whatever about his lead singer daughter. And they always would try to get me to sing lead. So when I started singing lead, they started giving me my props, and he didn't like that they would try to put me in front of her. So yeah, like he started beefing with my family. My family's from 7 Mile. But yeah, so when that fight broke out, it got dangerous actually. And my mom was like, "Oh no,
So that was a fight between him and somebody in your family?
Yes.
Oh.
Actually, he was like beefed up with my cousin. My cousin at the time was 15. And the dad was like a dad. He was like in his 30s at the time or something. And my cousin was trying to fight with him, and my mom was like, "Oh no!" And they were even trying to, bring out guns and everything. It got kind of crazy. So anyway, yeah. After that, fast forward. I don't know where you want to go from there because I had so many experiences.
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't want to know every detail, but I just really want to paint the picture of the era, like.
Okay.
That was in the era where you didn't need a fan base. You did not need followers. Matter of fact, social media didn't even exist then, right?
No, not yet.
Back then, all you really needed was songs. Like, so a demo, that's what we called it, right? some bomb photos,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe like you had to do a showcase or something
Mm-hmm.
to get signed.
Right.
And so back then, that was like the discovery era. Like you could be a dope artist,
Right.
and get signed because you were dope.
Well, you did need to know somebody too.
I mean, you had to have connections, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be discovered though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but literally, like, you could be at a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
singing or whatever, and you can meet somebody, and then your life could change forever just
true.
because
Back
you met
then.
the right person.
Yeah.
And then for sure, if you had a connect that could shop your stuff to the labels, then you could get on. And I'm not saying it was easy back then,
Right.
but it was simple.
It was an adventure. It was actually fun because you never knew what was going to happen next. So you just always had this ambition of like, you know what I mean? Like going to go get it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So,
Because I had a girl group. I had hella group back in the
for
day.
real?
Yeah, hella groups. And, we used to take the trips to New York, shop the records, meeting with the labels, and it was fun, and that's where I learned a lot. Like I learned a lot just from hearing no. Like because they would tell us why, they wouldn't sign us, and in one of my groups, we did have a deal on the table until one of the girls got pregnant. So, yeah, but I'm gonna have her on the show too.
Okay.
Like I literally am gonna have her on the show. But that just was an era where I literally missed that era.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Because like even as somebody who like represents the talent, you could really do your thing. You know what I'm saying? As a manager or as a producer.
Yeah.
Now as a manager, you damn near have to know how to manage a whole business for real. You know what I'm saying? And so does an artist.
For real.
So those just was different times, and
everybody just really had a lane. Like it was homegrown. The artists, they were practicing, because when I was in that girl group, we would practice like 20 hours a day. I don't know.
Because it was about talent.
It would feel like 5 hours because you're doing, like, you trying to get it. You know what I mean? So, but it was homegrown. The managers, they were excited to promote you, and you as the artist, you were just so excited to go out with the managers and, do your showcasing and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really know how it is nowadays. I guess you shop on Instagram. I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, that is the problem, because you should know. But yeah, we gonna get into all.
That's why I'm in Star Factory.
And right, that's what I'm saying. You should know, because I don't know what you talking about.
I do have the notes.
Okay. Anyway, so just tell me like what led up until the point where you actually got into the group 702.
Okay, so after Adiva, that's when I started to work in the studio as a recording artist. That was like around 16, and from there, because that lady had me rapping back then. What? And then my uncle introduced me to a guy named Chaka, and I was in a production deal with him called Celebrity Status Entertainment.
Is that the dude who had Ludacris?
No.
Oh, okay.
Chaka Blackman. So he's from Detroit.
Oh, okay.
You probably wouldn't know him. He's like a low-key talented producer, but he's super low-key. And so anyway, from there, he signed. Well, I got to put all jokes aside on the map because I met Coco. And then Coco, like, really blasted me out and made me just feel like, okay, it's getting ready to happen. That's when my cousin Adesla used to put me.
What you mean? Like, what does she do?
They used to do, like, these live comedy showcases. And I was sneaking because I was too young. But there is when I kind of... How old were you? I think I was like 16 or 17. I was too young to be in the club. Okay. So they would like hide me upstairs and then bring me down for the showcase. Okay. And I would win the money and whatever. But anyway, from there is when I knew, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. And so from that is when I got linked up with Chaka Blackman. And he got an production deal. And then he signed me to his production deal. And we moved to California. And we stayed in...
What was we?
Oh, you said you didn't want to know all the details. So
I mean, no, I want to know. I want to know. I mean, that's, you just said, yeah, we just like.
Okay.
That's an important detail.
So after I graduated high school, my mom's like, okay, what are you going to do? She wanted me to go to college, take up some courses. She wanted me to go into medical. And I'm like, I'm a whole artist now. Like, in my mind, I was like Brandy or somebody, you know? And so she was like, "No, you need to go, take up some classes." And I'm like, "No, Mom, I need to go pursue." They
And
were
what year was
signing.
this?
That was in 97. I graduated in 97. So it's
Okay.
probably the end of 97, 98.
Okay.
So anyway, Chaka decided, my uncle and whatever, they put together something for me to sign. And I signed with his production deal. And then we all went. My mother, okay, so my mother's brother was cool with Chaka Blackman. They were childhood friends. So it was all good. Like, it was nothing weird. Like, he was my big brother. He still is to this day my big brother. And so,
And what high school did you go to?
Bradford, the one they
okay.
knocked down for Myers.
Okay.
And so we moved to California. We moved into a house. So they bought a house or rented out a house and turned it into a big production home. Celebrity Status Entertainment. Chaka Blackman.
Oh, okay. Was Coco part of that?
Coco.
Or that was just
Oh,
him?
no. Coco from Detroit is a comedian.
Right.
And I used to perform on her show.
Oh, okay.
But she would give me so much props.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And like made me feel like, okay, you can do this. You got star qualities in you.
So, what did Chaka Blackman do in the industry to be able to just move to California and buy a house in California?
He was already a local producer. He worked with a lot of the local talent that was up and coming. So he was already building a name for himself. Obviously, because my uncle took me to him, like, you need to work with my niece. So whatever he was doing, a whole bunch of whatever back then,
Okay.
Connected to some of those stars.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, he took a liking to me. Like, we just really got close. He was a writer, and he also was a producer, really good with keys. And so we just connected in that way. He just became like my mentor. And so we all moved out to California. It was me and two other producers in the home, one of which was Eric Dawkins. Dawkins, what's up? He was one of my producers. And we just started continuing to work on our album. So at that time, we were signed with A&M Records.
Who was we?
I was in a production deal.
But I'm saying you were signed as a solo artist.
I was signed as a solo artist.
And we say we, you're talking about you and Chaka.
Right, because I was signed to his production deal, but we all were signed to A&M, if you know how that goes.
You and Chaka.
Mm-hmm. Me,
because you're saying you're making it sound like it's a bunch of people.
It is, because it was me, Chaka, Baby Boy, Eric Dawkins.
Also, it was other artists.
Yeah, because the whole production team was signed.
Okay, so it's
but I was signed individually to Chaka.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that was going really well. Again, I was a young adult, so I was like discovering that I was a young adult at the time.
What's that mean?
I mean, like boys, and now I'm like, I'm grown. I can do whatever I want to do. I have.
So are you saying like that was like a distraction?
Yes,
okay.
It was. It was a major distraction. Even though I had super focus about what I wanted to do and where I was trying to go, I was still a young adult, and I hadn't really been in any like serious relationships and stuff. It just had been about music, school and music. And so by the time I got out there, I was attracted to this guy who was in the industry, and I didn't know anybody. So we were all the same age, and he knew everybody. So I'm like, we can be friends, That's all a long story. I don't know what all you want to hear, honey, because...
You still ain't said nothing about 702.
Okay, because this part of it works up to 702. Okay. So I'll try to make it short. So after coming to California and being linked up with Chaka and the whole, I thought I was rich because I had a bonus and a car and
what was the bonus?
We were staying in a mansion. How much did I get in the beginning at that age?
Yeah.
I started off with $15,000.
That was a lot.
So back then I thought I was rich. I was like, we going shopping. I called one of my homegirls out and everything, but no, it's not a lot at all. It goes fast. But that was.
Do you remember the structure of the deal?
No, I don't. I did have an attorney though, Benjamin Whitfield. You know who he is? Back then, that was Aaliyah's attorney. So I was like, I need to get Aaliyah's attorney. So he did go through my deal, and he tried to structure it very well for me. But I don't think those deals are ever very well for an artist. But I did get a bonus. I mean, not a bonus. What do you call it? Signing advance. I got my signing advance. And
so your advance. How much was your whole advance?
I don't know how much I would ask for money and they would just give it to me.
So you don't know how much was allocated to your actual like music?
To me or to the whole deal?
Like, I know you got
I don't
15,
know
but
because honey, they was giving me. I was getting money from them. So how much money did they probably had $2 million?
Dang.
You know how Nick? I mean, got like folks. He take 20. We a pocket. You know, $1.5 million.
So you saying your own people?
I'm saying I love everybody, but I'm just saying if I was getting that much money for an advance, then what did they really have? Because they had to buy equipment, rent the house, do this, do that, pay this, pay them. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all moved to California with the deal already on the table, or y'all moved there and then got the deal?
The deal was already on the table.
So that's why y'all moved to California.
Yes,
because of the deal.
Because of the deal, he
Gotcha.
had already established that deal.
Okay, got you. Okay, now it's all making sense.
Okay. That's why I wanted to write it all down, honey, because it's a lot.
That's fine. It's fine.
And I wanted to structure so I'm not just rambling. It's so much.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Look,
but
artists in today's era are gonna find this interesting because this is not how it goes down no more.
I'm so curious as to how it goes down. I want to know.
We're gonna talk about that.
I was talking to a young producer the other night, like, he was like, you got to do this, and did you do that? And I was like, how do I do that? Something on Apple Music where you're supposed to create your own.
Oh my God.
Never mind, I don't want to embarrass Brandy.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have your own.
I be needing Brandy one-on-one, not in the class, okay? Because I need him to individually show me, like, this is what
I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah, but for price.
Way more now.
For real?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be with a Star Factory. Y'all don't know this, but I know this. It just...
Okay.
We're going to let it work the way it's supposed to work.
For sure. For sure.
Now, how much more you want to know? Cause
okay.
Okay.
All I want you to do is say 702.
Okay. Okay.
That's all Jeff waiting on.
Okay. So what happened was I was in a group as a solo artist. I was signed as a solo act. We were moving forward, but then a lot of mergers started to happen with A&M Records. So we went from A&M Records to Interscope Records, and then from Interscope Records to Overbook Records. And it was just so much merging going on within our production deal. Mm-hmm. Like, we were getting money from all these different pots, though. Like, not to try to make it sound, like, bad or nothing. But anyway, it was just a very good time. I don't know what it was about the late 90s, early 2000s. It was just money flowing for artists. And
so every time there was a merger, y'all got more money?
Yeah, because it's like new deals. Like, so we would get, I think he would get allocated different amounts of money to whatever. So don't get me to saying because he handled the business. I was just the artist. I didn't have management. And that's a part of the problem. Back then, no. We just had a whole bunch of songs.
So you never put out a song?
Not with him. So I wanted to bring it back to that because we went through the mergers and I started to become antsy. And I was meeting so many different stars and artists and they were working. They were asking me to write. So I was writing and I was demoing and I was backgrounding, getting on soundtracks. And within this time of meeting that guy, I'll say George.
You talking about your little boo?
Back then, he ain't no boo now.
Yeah, I mean back then.
Yeah, back then he was boo. And he introduced me to Ray J. So then Ray J was dating Irish. So that's how I got affiliated with 702.
Okay. Was this guy a producer?
He was an actor when I met him.
Oh, okay.
He was like an actor and a rapper or whatever.
Okay.
And so I became cool with Ray J.
We know him?
Y'all may know him. But
why you not dropping no names?
No. I don't know because that's weird. No, I don't want to do that, but I'll call him George.
That was just your little fling from back in the day. No,
it wasn't a fling. I had 2 kids by him. That's the problem. No, not the problem because my children are not the problem, but I'm trying to bring you to 702. Okay. So after meeting him and being cool with the guys, like I had my solo act. The girls was doing good. Ray J was doing good. That was Brandy's little brother, you know? Mm-hmm. And so everybody's just bubbling and balling. It was just a good time. And I got really cool with the girls in the group. So my friend became Irish.
Okay.
And so I was cool with Irish and Orish. They were twins.
Irish who has passed away now, right?
Yeah, she passed away. Her sister passed before her. But those were my friends. And they're like the sweetest Irish and Orange. They were
They
twins.
both passed?
They both gone. Yeah. Orange passed before Irish.
What? Why did I know this?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Because Orange was the backbone of the group, but because she was dealing with illnesses, you didn't see her that much.
Yep.
She was in the background.
Yeah.
So
So
Irish.
she passed like way before?
Yeah, Orange passed like I want to say 2000 and somewhere 11 or 12 or somewhere back there.
It's a blur to me. I did not know that.
You'll find it. You'll find her.
Okay.
Yeah, they were twins. They weren't identical, but they did really look alike. But yeah, I was cool with the girls. So I had my house I stayed at, and they stayed at the Summit in, was it Burbank? Somewhere in Woodland Hills. Somewhere over there. And so we all would just hang out, and I would come over there and kick it with them, and we just, singing and whatever artists do. And what happened was during that time they were doing good with where my girls at, with Missy and all that. And Brandy was doing good. I remember Brandy jumped in my car when I first got to California.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, I would never forget that because she was one of my favorite, still is one of my favorite artists. And for her to jump in my car, that's how we became cool. She was like, take me to 7-Eleven. I think she was coming off of her tour or something. But anyway, back to them. So I was going back and forth in my solo deal with all the mergers, and it was this person I was with at the time would fill me up with, who you are, he would just gas me up, and I'm like, yeah. And so when the girls started having discrepancies within their team, Mila
702.
Yes, 702. Mila was like, whatever, I'm not doing this, because it was a family operated business, and she felt like whatever. She wanted to bring her mom in, and whatever that whole situation was. Orange came to me and she was like, Cree, we were talking and blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I'm in a solo deal at the time, but my solo deal was weird. But she was like, would you mind, taking Mila's spot? And I'm like, yeah, why not? I wasn't doing nothing but making songs. I felt shelved. We weren't really, putting out any music. Jimmy Iovine didn't know what to do with me, and Overbrook, because I was with Overbrook too, with Will Smith's label. Will and them, they didn't know what to do with me, because I have so many deposits. I'm like a comedian, but I'm also sensual, but I'm also Christian, and I had too many things going on. They were trying to figure out. So that was always an issue when it came to these labels. And so anyway, the girls understood me, and they was like, hey, you want to come be in the group? And I said, yes. And we just started recording music. And that's how I got to 706.
How many songs did y'all record?
I recorded maybe about, I want to say in between 5 to 10 songs with the girls. We were going to put out an album. Misha just started writing because at the time they weren't with Motown. They were dropped.
Who was Misha?
Misha's in the group. 702. The light-skinned, beautiful Misha. So right now it's Mila and Misha because Mila's back there, And then Misha she used to write the songs.
When Misha was an original?
Yeah, Misha's an original. She's one of the sisters. So Misha, Irish, and Orange were all sisters.
There was 4 people in 702?
No, Orange would go in and out. Like sometimes if Mila needs to step out, then Orange could step in. But Orange did start with the group. They did have other members too.
Oh, so maybe I'm thinking of Misha. I don't think I know who Orange is.
You probably don't.
Okay, I must be thinking about Misha when y'all said she passed.
But once I point her out to you, you would remember her in the videos.
Wasn't they in a reality show recently in the last 4 or 5 years with like Cherish?
Yeah.
Who was that?
That was Misha.
And Irish.
Okay. Mila didn't do it.
Okay, so I was thinking Misha was Orange.
No.
Okay, so you recorded about almost 10 songs with Irish and Misha. And you took Mila's place.
Right.
And so did you feel nervous taking her place? Because she was like the lead singer. Was that like pressure?
No, it wasn't. I mean, not to like disregard her talent or nothing. It's just that I was so close with them.
But she was dope too.
Yeah, like, and they just believed in me and I believed in them. So when Mila decided that she didn't want to do the group, I understood, and they were like, whatever. And they asked me to come get in the group, and
so you're not in 702 anymore. So what happened?
Well, I found out back then. I found out why Mila didn't want to be in the group. Like
So they call that FAFO now.
What's that?
Went around and found out.
Yeah, I did. I didn't. I'm not gonna even say that because it was on my own personal decision. But the meshing of it at the time wasn't good for me.
Tell me more.
It's a little. It's kind of spiritually personal, but I will say that so once the girls decided that they wanted me to be in the group, I was excited and I'm like, dang, I'm finally gonna sing in front of people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was a shy person and they had already took on the world.
Mm-hmm.
But being behind their confidence made me feel comfortable. They were strong sisters. Like I was really close with them. So then Motown became interested again because remember at the time they were they weren't signed, and that's how we got. Oh, I'm skipping. So Hollywood reached out to us. Hollywood Records reached out to us once we decided, okay, Cree is gonna. It wasn't necessarily permanently take Mila's place, but at the time I was just filling in, okay. And so Hollywood Records was doing this movie. Chris Rock was doing this movie, and they reached out to us and asked if we wanted to be on the soundtrack for this movie Pootie Tang, and it was fine with me because I'm comical. Like I love comedy, so. The girls was like, I don't know. They didn't want to taint their image. So anyway, they said yes because it was an avenue back in. Mm-hmm. So we took it. We recorded 2 songs. We were up for 24 hours, and I do remember we were up for 24 hours, and then the very next day did the video. So we had to remember the lines. You know how you got to say the words in the video. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm still sleepy, you know, but that's what we did. We recorded a song. And we was up all night.
And what was it? That's the name of the song?
Because we had to record 2 versions of Pootie Tangin'.
What's the name of the song?
Pootie Tangin'.
Pootie Tangin'?
Mm-hmm. If you think you're Pootie Tangin' and you know that you're playing on the dance floor, shake your thing, it's alright.
So y'all had the title track on the soundtrack of Pootie Tang?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so that did pretty well. It had some buzz to it. It was a goofy movie, but I remember when I took my family to go see it on the big screen. How
much did the other girls sing on that song and the other song?
We all shared third. Like, how do you divide the pie up?
Like verses? Y'all just split verses?
Yep, we did. We split verses.
Because before that, it was mostly Mila, right?
I think what they were trying to do was introduce me. Because they were going to start giving me leads the way they were writing the songs. But they wanted to introduce me. So Irish took the lead on Pootie Tangin', and then I took the second verse. Well, she took the first verse. I took the second verse. And Misha took the bridge. But then I carried it with the ad-libs on it.
Is that how they did it before you got there? They split a lot of it up?
No.
It was mostly Mila, right?
It was mostly Mila. And
so this was their chance to...
That was part of the beef, yeah. Because Mila, they put me... whatever Missy was doing, whatever, I don't know, was making Mila sing the leads, but the girls wanted the leads. But I guess maybe they thought she was a stronger voice. I'm not really sure, but
I don't really know the rhyme or reason sometimes, other than just marketability. Because it's like in TLC, Chili was the strongest singer.
Really?
But
you would never know that.
T-Boz got all the leads.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would never know that.
So it just seemed like back then, lead singers just, I guess, worked some kind of way, just identity-wise. And so...
I'm not sure why they did that.
Yeah, when I had my girl groups, we had to have lead singers, and it's just really, people got to have roles.
But it's kind of like basketball, right?
Yeah, you got to know your role.
Yeah, like there's a captain, right?
It's the one person that takes the most shots.
Right.
One person that got the green light, maybe 2 people.
Right.
And the other people to stay on the floor. They got to fill their role. You got to rebound. You got to pass.
Yes.
You got to play defense.
But everybody got to play their role in order to win the game, and so I just got it. It's like, Iris, you want to sing lead? Fine with me. I don't care. Like, I just wanted to sing and perform, and entertain. So, that's how we did that song. And from there, it was a nice little buzz. So Kedar, which was their executive at
Massenburg.
Over at Motown, they flew us out, and they were interested in signing me to the group. And he wanted me to prove myself in the studio. I used to be so scared to sing in the studio, but I went, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna knock this out, because I had to like audition for him. I had wore this like cape jacket, and I was singing for him the best of my ability, like with all my heart. And he was like, okay, you know. And I sang at the studio, which I don't really think I did that good tonight, because I was so nervous. Mm-hmm. But he said, yeah, you can be in the group. Yeah, he was going to go ahead and sign me. So everybody was excited. It went well. We flew back from New York. I went to Detroit. They went back to, I don't know, Vegas or California. And I went to go think, should I do this group? Because at that time, Aaliyah had passed. And I was so messed up by that. Like, it's so random. Like, she was at the top of her game. And spiritually, I was going through changes too, you know? So I really just went back to Detroit, and I just was at my mama's house. I remember thinking and just talking to God about it. Like, what do you think? Should I do it? You know? And he said no.
Can't argue with that.
I regret it a little bit.
I mean, can you really regret a decision that was made for you by God?
Because sometimes you're like, God, is that really you? Because isn't this a good situation, you know?
How confident are you that was God?
I said no. And we had like 1.5.
How confident are you that God told you no?
Oh, I'm like 90. Back then, I was like 100% sure.
So then that's what it was.
Like my gut was like, he said no. When I told everybody in my family that I couldn't do that deal, and my, at the time, husband, he was like, what are you talking about?
Oh, you was married.
Yeah, that was the boo you was talking about.
You just skipped over getting married.
You told me to get to 702, but when you joined Grove.
So you just skipped over a whole ceremony.
A whole ceremony, honey.
A whole union.
That was an elope. Anniversary, would you do that?
Were you still married to him?
No. We honeymooned in Catalina, and then whatever.
Okay.
And so, anyway, when I said no, and the family was like, that was your opportunity, you know? And so now...
and that was $1.5 million on the table.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, was they giving that to each individual? But it couldn't have been. You know, it had to be this. It was, we were splitting 1.5 at that time. That's back when they was giving out money.
That was probably the whole budget. And y'all were probably getting an advance out of that, like a bonus out of that.
I don't know. That could have been it.
But, I mean, it was 702, so, you know.
And at this time, they were doing platinum numbers when that mattered.
So, I mean, I can understand why you're saying, like, you know, you may regret it or whatever.
Yeah.
But God clearly was protecting you from something.
Because I had a gut feeling to get in it. But then I'm like, okay, it's time to sign. Can I sign? No. And he's like, no.
And it wasn't just fear. You know that was God.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I'm like, was I just scared? But at that time, because my thing is, how come I was so brave to do everything else?
Right. No. I believe, just based on what you're saying, I believe it was God talking to you. And, you know, so clearly it was the best thing for you.
At that time, yes.
Just period.
Yeah. It
was the best thing for you because you know what I'm saying? You just...
I guess.
You never know what you was getting protected from.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you just never know why you felt... You know how you get a gut feeling about something like, nah, I just don't want to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
Well, I mean, that's a very respectable
and no disrespect to the ladies, because honestly, I really love them all, especially Irish. Like, I'm going to try not to cry because I was so, you know, but no disrespect to them. It just was a personal, like, spiritual decision. So.
And how did they take that?
They were, so angry with me. Because I was helping to put money on the table.
Right.
So if I say no, we don't get this check, and we haven't, you know what I mean, for a minute. Yeah. So I had to like go in hiding. You know what I'm saying? I stayed in Michigan for a while.
Because you had the 702 look too.
For real? That's some like, should I have done it?
No.
Oh.
No, you cannot argue with a decision God done made.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know, God will protect you, right? No, I'm saying, no, I'm just playing.
And not if he give you clear instructions.
Yeah.
You might be on your own on that one. Sure.
So I really be hoping, like, God, I listen to you with the situation. When is it gonna pan out? Because from that, I got pregnant, and you know the rest. From there, you become mom. So I was a wife. I was a mom. I still was doing my music because I was still connected to different people in the industry. Still writing, you know, like I did some other soundtracks and backgrounds and stuff like that. But then from there, like just really still trying to discover my soloism, I never really had the opportunity to present. So
Got you. How much time we got left?
You know, honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Got so into the.
All right. Well, if you into it, then we good.
Right.
And so are you on husband number 2?
I am.
Okay. So you got divorced and then you remarried.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, remarried. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So fast forward to now.
Yeah.
You were in that era where literally like everything that you just talked about was the epitome of that era. Like
Yeah.
it was, you know, like it was just money flowing around. You were getting in rooms because you were talented, you know, because you had a look, all of this stuff. Now,
I was about to write a song this morning, like I was watching this young white kid sing riffs. I was like, oh my goodness, the competition is crazy. But I was telling myself, it's not really competition. It's a way to sharpen your skills. Like all of it is needed, and we all play roles, and we're all a part of this big picture. So I just try to keep myself encouraged because I honestly feel like I have a message to share through music. And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I have this just one big project I'm supposed to do because I've been doing music for so long.
right.
And maybe God is like, just wait for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I got one big one I'm about to hit. And the one that I do is, it'll just knock everything out of the park. Everything I thought I was supposed to do over all these years of my life. Since I was a little girl, I remember singing when I was 5 and writing songs and recording myself when I was a kid. But it's almost like God was telling me, just wait for it. I got the big one coming. So I just really been just trying to stay in shape. And that's really how I came across you. I was really looking for my daughter at the time too. But I'm just always just inspired by music and just the artistry of, you know, other artists and creativity and just all of this. I love it, you know.
For sure.
And so that's how I got involved with the Star Factory.
Got you. So clearly this era is way different than, you know, that era. This era is all about building a buzz, building a fan base. You gotta build your own movement. And that is like, I'm sure that's so foreign to somebody like you who came in the golden era of discovery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and where privacy was like valuable. Like you don't like share everything, you know?
Yeah.
Being, what you call that word? Not just
vulnerable?
Not vulnerable, but
persistent?
What is the word that Michael Jackson is? It's like, you know, Beyonce, what is she?
Dopest?
Never mind, we'll come up with that word.
Okay.
It's not discreet, but it's close to that word.
Oh, reserved?
No, I'll get it. It's a cool
private
word. It's a cool word, but it's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, private, you know,
okay.
Mysterious, whatever. That was in. The more mysterious you were, like you would show up to do your show, but your life is like, I wonder what they doing.
Yeah.
It made you more desirable. But now, geez, I mean, everything is everything.
Yeah, like you said, there is a lot of competition. And it's not between artists. It's competition with everything. Yeah. It's like we're in competition with blogs, TV shows, actors, comedians. Everybody is trying to everybody's in the attention industry. You know what I'm saying? To be an artist, you have to know how to capture attention and be consistent and be dope. You know, you got to keep your skills sharp, know how to sell, you know how to promote. Like, yeah. So, like, nobody that came from the era that you came, like, wants to do content. even the current young artists don't want to do content. So I know like just doing content for you is just like, oh my God. Because nobody, it just doesn't feel natural to an artist to just set up a camera. We like setting up mics and writing on pads. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody wants to just set up a camera every day and just sing to imaginary people. You know what I'm saying? Until it's not imaginary, you know?
I mean, part of it is fun.
Yeah.
Because you create your own audience out there. Once you get used to it, you know.
Yeah, but like we're in the era right now where it's so hard getting over the hump. Like 2 years ago was like the Reels era because Instagram was competing with TikTok.
What about MySpace? I was on that MySpace. I would drop a song.
Oh no, MySpace, you could do some stuff on MySpace. No, you could do some stuff on MySpace, but that's gone. So we talking about Cree 2025. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally like, I see you doing, I see you've been doing your content lately. But I can tell you're just like waking up, like just going with whatever. It's no thought behind it.
It's a little
I mean, I don't feel like you're planning this out. Like, I just feel like you're like, I like this song. I'm gonna sing this song. Boom. But no, we're gonna get you together because I know so much more about you after today. You never told me these stories. I didn't know this whole journey.
So much more I could talk to you about.
Oh yeah, I want to know it all.
Yeah, Neo. I worked with Neo. I worked with I don't know. I have to sit down and write it out.
We're gonna talk about that on part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah,
oh,
we'll talk about the next part, next half on part 2. Because now it's just like, now my audience is gonna know about you, and it's like every time I bring somebody on the podcast, I literally feel responsible for helping them elevate.
Oh, I love that. I was just writing a song about elevation today, honey.
Oh, well then that's perfect. That's perfect. So yeah, like the good thing, you still look young.
Okay, thanks. You know? I gotta lose some weight like you. You all slim and stuff now.
I didn't notice I lost weight.
But doing your shows, doing good. Did you go back to that video when I was shouting out the Star Factory and I was like, just wait? That was like 3 years ago.
I need to find that.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
I was so excited to be a part of the team back then. I mean, your class.
Yeah, but no, it's just so much harder today. But it's like you have to create a lifestyle of constantly staying relevant. Yeah, and that's hard. Yeah, it's very, very, very difficult. Like because when I started Star Factory, it wasn't about content. I just could hit the streets and meet people, and like if I'm at the mall, like I hear somebody humming, like, oh, you sing? Oh, that's how I would do it. Now I gotta post every day. I have to post every day to get somebody who's seen me 2 years ago to finally say yes to Star Factory. You know what I'm saying? Because most people, when they see it for the first time, are not like, I need this. And that's the same thing with everything. It's like, with your talent, with your music, it takes so many impressions for somebody to be like, to say yes to adding you to their playlist. Yes to like subscribing to your notifications, subscribe to your YouTube. It's
I don't understand it. Like,
I mean, it's the same philosophy as back then. It's just you didn't have to do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
It was
that's
the
why
label.
I was like, I had my lane and they had their lane.
The label was like, the engine. They could put your face and music out there as many times as needed.
Or not.
Right, because they never put a song out. But it was also the disadvantage.
Yeah.
The advantage now is you control your own destiny.
Right.
You can do whatever you want. You can do it however you want, whenever.
I remember back then when I used to be around Danny Boy, and he'd be sitting around with Death Row, like waiting to be put out. Like, I just remember people being shelved back then too. So I think that's why I got impatient. Like, let me just go find another gig. You know what I mean? Back then, so. But nowadays, I just be looking like, sorry, is this supposed to be nowadays I'm like, what are we gonna do? Everybody sing now. Are we a commodity anymore? And
everybody does not sing now.
And I was thinking that I was like, everybody is copying everybody, but the person who has the gift, don't be afraid. Still just find your lane and just keep going some kind of way. I don't know how, but
Look, I did everything except cuss my boot camp out last night.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, I gave them the pep talk of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I do this once a year. I gave you one too when you was in boot camp. Because sometimes I just like, I get frustrated and annoyed that I do such a good job with developing talent, but then the talent doesn't follow through with, doing what is supposed to be done. But I also I'm not mad at them because I know how hard it is to get over this hump.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to give you the same talk right now. It's only gonna take 5 minutes and then we done, Jeff. So basically it's like once you know that you're dope, which I know you know that,
Mm-hmm.
and you know you have good music,
Mm-hmm.
make good music,
Mm-hmm.
you can get cute, right? And you have a story,
Mm-hmm.
which basically all of that should equal a brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there is a level that you have to hit with sharing that with the world. And most people never even come close to that level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically like on par with a politician who's running for office.
Mm.
When a politician is running for office, you see them every day because they're never home. They're literally always out of the house doing some type of campaigning.
Mm-hmm.
But an artist will put out a song and post it 6 times. That's a lot to them.
Mm-hmm.
6 times. What? You mean you just went through all of this? You went and wrote the song and paid for the beat and did the studio time, paid for the mix, and then did 3-4 revisions on the mix, got on the engineer's nerves, and then did a photo shoot, got the artwork done, and uploaded that mug, and then paid a videographer to shoot the video, and you did all of this, and you're not going. You're So
intimidated.
So I basically asked everybody last night, what are you not willing to do, and what are you willing to do?
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're not willing to do. You're not gonna sell your soul. You're not gonna sleep your way to the top, right? But are you willing to go door to door?
Yes.
Nobody said yes last night.
Oh, I'm supposed to say no?
Well, I wouldn't expect you to go door to door telling people about your music. But if you're willing to go door to door, you said yes.
Yeah.
If you're willing to go door to door, then that means that you're willing to do the work. You're willing to stay in the DMs. You're willing to go to businesses, introducing yourself. Hey, can you play my music? Like building a 100-person fan base is the most doable thing for any artist. It's so doable if you just hit the level of, I don't have no other choice. The thing that's holding most people back is comfort.
Oh, you're making me so motivated.
the thing that's holding most people back is comfort.
And fear and intimidation. No.
When you hit rock bottom, fear and intimidation go out the door.
That's so true.
You see what I'm saying? It don't exist. When you hit rock bottom or when you make up your mind that I will succeed, I have to do this.
You're right, it's comfort.
Fear and all of that go out the door.
It's comfort.
But when you're comfortable, when you know I'm going to be all right no matter what.
These little side jobs.
It's a level that you're never going to hit with the intensity of like promoting yourself as an artist. And that is all that needs to happen. That's all that needs to happen. But I'm preaching this, but I'm victim of this too. Like when I started, it took me getting fired from my job to start Star Factory. I had already had Star Factory in my head for months. I'm talking about 6-7 months. I was like, I gotta do this Star Factory, but I could not see past the check every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't exist without this check.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I get fired.
Mm.
I didn't go looking for another job.
Mm-hmm.
I said, F it. I'm never working again a day in my life.
Wow.
I found a building that same week and I just started Star Factory 45 days later. I had no idea what I was doing. I just know that every day I was not at that crib. I was out in these streets trying to change my life forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And every artist I've ever worked with, I've seen them hit that same streak. No, I mean, not every. I'm talking about all the success stories. I've seen them hit that streak. And that streak most of the time comes out of desperation. So it's like, how can you be comfortable and get to that level where you just are relentless? I don't have the answer for that. I don't have the answer for that, but that's what it takes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you just go back to the beginning. The motivation from, that beginning, I'm going to do this.
No.
You don't know?
If I was working at this casino and you told me, just go back to the beginning, I'm like, what is you talking about? I get paid on Friday. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to go home.
The beginning, like the drive that you had in the beginning.
But it's not there no more. How can you do that if it's physically not in your body?
Okay. Yeah, because I'd be wondering, where'd that go? But I know I still have that. I'm supposed to do it.
Yes, I do believe you're supposed to do it.
You
do? How do you get to the point to where you have to do it?
Well,
supposed to do it and have to do it is two different mentalities. It's two different people, really.
Well, I did just get fired from my job too.
Oh, well.
Well, but I have a backup job. But still, it was my main job. So I was like, I'm about to use this time. So that's where you be seeing these videos where you're like, what are you doing?
Okay, well,
it's me trying to get comfortable. And
I love
hoping
what you're doing.
somebody like you would see me and want to help me get it in order.
I mean, if you wasn't posting, I probably wouldn't have thought about you.
Wow, because I did it on purpose to get somebody's attention. I don't know if it was you or whoever, honey. I was calling out.
Well, hopefully somebody sees this podcast.
And embarrassed.
But remember, we're not in the discovery age.
Okay.
So you need me to see it and thousands of other people so that you can get your first initial 100 fans. Because once an artist has 100 fans, it's a wrap. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep growing.
I have no idea.
But 100 is very difficult. Because I ain't talking about followers, I ain't talking about supporters. I'm talking about real. I will put money in your pocket fans because I love everything that you do for me. Right? Like, fans are selfish. It's like, oh, she makes me feel this way. Her music makes me feel this. Her content makes me feel this. It's, and you got to figure that's where the brand comes in, and that's where the consistency comes in. So we go work on that. But I know we're over our time. So we're gonna talk about the rest of your story in part 2. But I'm more interested in part 3. Part 3, which is Cree 2025. So we're gonna start working on that ASAP.
Open door season.
No doubt. It's Cree. We at the factory, and we out.